Hey everyone, welcome to PM Sport Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host, Preston, alongside my father, Mike, and Dad, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. We had a long break. We had some summer vacations and all that stuff. But you know what time it is now? It's football season, and I'm ready to get into it.
Yes, well, we are going to get right into it, as you just said. So, speaking of football, we were very excited when we were on vacation to watch the Utah and Florida game. Although it didn't turn out to be the greatest game, we're still excited to watch the college football. We get back to the hotel, turn on the TV, and Spectrum and Disney's having to dispute, and we have an ESPN blackout.
Yeah, we were pretty upset about that. Had no idea that was going on because we're on vacation and we're paying that close of attention. Like you said, we turn on the TV and there's no ESPN channels. I mean, it's hard to watch sports without ESPN. And we were pretty bummed because that was the first big-time football game of the season, and we were really looking forward to it. We did find an alternative way to watch it, but wasn't the same. But, that's a big deal because ESPN, they carry Monday Night Football. That's coming up next weekend.
Yep.
And if they don't get that dispute between Disney and Spectrum, there are going to be a lot of upset people looking forward to some football, and it's not going to be on.
Yeah, and speaking of, they could lose a lot of customers for Spectrum due to no ESPN, and a lot of sports users use Spectrum, so could be seeing a switch to like YouTube TV or something like that.
Yeah, that includes us because we live to watch sports, and it's hard to do a show, too, without having ESPN because that's just everything. And YouTube TV has the football package now, the NFL package that went from DirecTV over to YouTube. So I think if this dispute carries on, people are going to jump ship. They're going to go over to YouTube TV, and that's probably what we're going to end up doing if things don't straighten out here soon with the two companies there. That's a big deal. I mean, you see this a lot with companies like this, and usually they'll use sports to try to get their plan in place there. It's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
But usually they don't. I've never seen it where they've gone this far with it, where they've actually blacked out football games. College football is the number 2 sport right now in the United States behind the NFL. And, ESPN blacked out all those games this weekend. So, yeah, that's a big deal. I like to think they'll have it fixed before Monday Night Football next Monday, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a good thing we were able to watch Florida State and LSU last night, although it wasn't the best game, it was a blowout, but it was on ABC, which also has an ESPN channel, so we were able to watch that, but the actual ESPN channel, that's blacked out, and we cannot watch any ESPN stuff. That includes First Take, Sports Center, and all the games.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a lot for sports fans. Everybody goes to Sports Center. I mean, maybe not as much as they used to because everybody has their phones now, but still, you go to Sports Center for your highlights and all that stuff and the games, and now you can't get them. That's a big deal. It's interesting to see how that's going to play out, but if it takes too long, they're going to lose a lot of customers, and people are just going to go over to, like you said, YouTube TV or other streaming platforms that they can watch these games at because you got to have your sports this time of year. This is big. That's why they're doing it this time of year. They figure they have put some pressure on Disney to put pressure on Spectrum to cave into their demands using Monday Night Football and the NFL to their advantage. We'll see what happens with that. But like I said, we're probably going to end up having to jump ship so we can get our sports.
Yeah, and it's a very important mention. We cannot do this show if we can't watch any sports. So that is huge, and we might have to make that switch, as you just mentioned. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's I'm going to give it a few more days, and if they don't straighten it out, then I think that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. So now we are going to switch gears here, getting that out of the way. Let's talk some college football, what we were able to watch. On Fox, we were able to watch Colorado. Coach Prime makes his debut as Colorado's head coach against the national champion runner-ups, the TCU Horned Frogs.
Yeah, what a game, huh? Best game of the weekend by far. Didn't think it going into this game. I did not think that we're going to get this kind of game. I did not believe the hype. I knew Colorado would be better with prime time there coaching, but I didn't think they'd be this much better. They shocked me. I didn't think his son Shedeur Sanders, who's the quarterback, I didn't think he was this good. I mean, he was playing against a much lower talent last year in that league that they played in at Jackson State. They weren't playing against the elite talent that he is now. So I didn't think it was going to transfer the way it did. But he looks like a top 10 quarterback, maybe better, top 5 quarterback in all of college football. The way he played this weekend, unbelievable job by Colorado, and yeah, what a great game.
Well, let's take a look at Shedeur Sanders' stats here. 510 yards passing, and he threw for 4 touchdowns, or was it 5 touchdowns?
Yeah, I believe it was 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions either.
No, he did not turn the ball over once.
And if you look at his completion percentage, it was like close to 75%, 80%. Unbelievable. And just great. And his receivers were open too, which was amazing how open they were. Great coaching. That's another thing. Primetime's going to get all the accolades, and he should, but that coaching staff that he has there are a ton of pro coaching experienced guys on that staff. They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you could see that in that game, because I'm still not sure Colorado has the talent that maybe TCU had, like on the line play and all that. But their scheming and their coaching was way better, and that was the difference. So, yeah, unbelievable.
Vegas had Colorado as minus 20.5, 20.5 underdogs. They thought they were going to get blown out by TCU, and that was not the case. Coach Prime gave that amazing pregame speech, as we heard this morning, and it just got those players fired up. And you talk about the offseason that they had. They didn't have much time. Coach Prime kept one starter from last year's Colorado team, and that starter got an interception.
Yeah, it's crazy. 87 new players on that team compared to last year. That's like I said, pretty much the whole roster changed. Unbelievable. He's a master motivator. He'll get those kids to do anything. You could see that the way they played. They were just fired up. Unbelievable. Great job, And like you said, they were 20-point underdogs. We both thought that they were going to probably get blown out, and at least I did. All the experts on TV said they'd like to see Colorado keep it close. They did more than keep it close. They won the game, and they were by far the better team in that game.
Yeah. Chandler Morris of TCU, they expected big things from him, as Max Duggan replaced him last year after he was injured in this game against Colorado last year. And
yeah, they blew them out last year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Chandler Morris there, he was not anywhere close to how good Shedeur Sanders played.
No, he was not. He played okay, but that wasn't good enough. You got to be more than okay. And he had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, it's his first big-time game start. I mean, he started the game last year, but like I say, he got hurt right away. Mm-hmm. So this is really his first big-time game. So I guess you can give him a little bit of a break there. But, yeah, he did not play up to expectations of what you would expect him to be. Yeah, he totally got outplayed by Shedeur Sanders, and, yeah.
Chandler Morris, you speak of those 2 interceptions. I think I saw both of them. One of them, beginning of the game, I mentioned the one starter from last year. Can't remember the name, but he picked him off in the red zone. And then you have them marching down the field, a big drive for TCU. Travis Hunter flies in and makes the interception. That is a guy that deserves a lot of credit for this win for Colorado, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, unbelievable. He played defensive back and wide receiver, and he played a ton of minutes. For him to play at that elite level, playing that many minutes, and down there in Texas in that heat, 90-plus degrees.
Oh, yeah, it must be very difficult.
I mean, that's unbelievable how he was able to do that, play both sides like that.
Yeah.
He was a top pick last year, or top recruit last year in the country. Dion was able to get him to go to Jackson State, which was a big accomplishment.
He flipped his commitment, too.
Yeah, he was going to go to Florida State, and he flipped his commitment to Jackson State last year, and now he follows Coach Prime out to Colorado. And you can see why he was the top recruit in the country. Unbelievable player. I don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. He's obviously going to play there. I don't know if he's going to be a D-back or a wide receiver, but the way it looks right now, he could probably take his pick at where he wants to play.
Would it be a stretch to say that Travis Hunter could be the Shohei Ohtani of college football?
Um, it's possible. You don't usually see it transfer from college to pros. Usually the pros make them pick that wherever they're better at, that's where they go.
Ah,
You might get a few plays on it. Like he was recruited as a cornerback. He might get a few plays on wide receiver in the NFL, but nothing like you saw a Saturday against TCU where he was playing all those offensive snaps.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's move on here, as that Colorado game was a big game, as you mentioned. It was the best game of the weekend. So
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of great games, really.
let's move on here to last night's game. Florida State, LSU. Brian Kelly, the head coach of LSU, said before this game, "We are gonna go and beat the heck out of Florida State." Well, Brian Kelly, the exact opposite happened. You got the crap beaten out of you.
Oh, yeah, well, this game was close for a little while, but then Florida State just put it on him in the second half. Brian Kelly sometimes says things he shouldn't say before games, and once again, it came back to bite him. I don't know why. This game was a pick'em game for most people. Most people could see it going either way. Although I do think most people were picking LSU. But yeah, great game at the beginning. It was build up all the hype that it had. This was supposed to be the best game of the weekend, number 5 against number 8. And, that into the third quarter, it was all looking that way. And then all of a sudden, Florida State just put it on them and blew them out in the fourth quarter. Yeah, but I don't know if Florida State's this good or if LSU just was that bad in the second half.
Yeah, LSU. I mean, it all started with that Jaden Daniels interception. Malik Neighbors slipped,
Yeah.
and Jaden Daniels threw a pick right to the defensive back there, and
Yeah, it was all downhill
that
from
was the
there.
beginning of the end right there. Yeah. Jordan Travis really silenced the doubters, and he silenced me. I will say that
Yeah.
I'm not a big believer in Jordan Travis. Well, before the game, I wasn't.
Yeah, you're not big on him, but
But seeing how Jordan Travis played, I mean, it's really just I gotta give him credit.
yeah.
I can't do anything else but give him credit. I'm not gonna go out here and say, oh, I wasn't doubting Jordan Travis. I was a big doubter in Jordan Travis. I thought his play style was sloppy. I thought he wasn't gonna be the quarterback that everyone was saying he was gonna be. But a big help to him last night, though, I will say, is Keon Coleman. He had a hat trick.
Unbelievable, huh? Another transfer from Michigan State last year. Yeah, he's a pro receiver. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
He's big,
6'4", 6'3".
big. He's got decent speed, and every ball that went his way, he caught.
Uh-huh.
And those were contested throws too. Those weren't easy catches that he was catching.
Oh, no. He caught like 2 very difficult balls for touchdowns.
Yeah. There was one in the corner of the end zone that he caught over the kid from Syracuse that transferred to LSU was playing D-back, and he had good coverage, and he just snagged it. And yeah, he looks like a big time receiver. And getting back to Jordan Travis, yeah, I wasn't that high on him either. I knew he was decent, but he really showed me something last night. Yeah, I don't know if he's an NFL quarterback yet. I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah,
But he's
that's fair.
definitely a very good college quarterback, and as the season goes on, we'll see. I mean, if he plays like that all season, then yeah, he's gonna get his shot in the NFL next year.
For sure. I want to go to a little bit of a moment before we move on here. So it was Virginia versus Tennessee. As we all know, Virginia's football program, the UVA, had a shooting in November 13th of 2022, and 3 people passed away on that day, and one person was critically injured. That was Mike Hollins. He survived the shooting, and then almost a year later, when they play Tennessee, he walks out onto the field with the Virginia flag and leads them onto the field, and that was just an incredible moment that gave me chills.
Yeah, it was a great moment, great thing to see how he came back from all that unbelievable tragedy that was last year. There was talk that Virginia might not even play football because of that, which was
Hmm.
crazy. A big time program like that. But yeah, great moment, unbelievable. A great thing to see him come back and lead them out there.
Yeah, just a quick little tribute there. Nice, nice. It was very nice to see Mike Hollins go out on the field and make that happen. But let's move on here to some more college football. Um, I want to go to another game. I think it was low scoring, but I think it was a pretty solid game. We're talking about Minnesota Gophers versus Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was like that game and the TCU game were only two close games that I watched all weekend.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a close game. I thought Nebraska was going to pull it out. Of course, they got Matt Rule, the former Carolina Panthers coach. Now he's coaching Nebraska, trying to bring them back to the glory years that they've had in the past.
Yep.
They've kind of program's been down for probably the last 10 years, I'd say. Um, Looked like they were going to get it done. They had the lead, and then all of a sudden, interception, and totally changed that game. And Minnesota comes down and scores and wins it at the end. But yeah, that was a good game, great game.
Yeah, the Matt Rule offense doesn't fail to um doesn't fail to prove me right. I'll say that. The Matt Rule offense is not looking good. I'll have you know, Dad, we were watching the game together. It was a 2-minute drill, and the first-year quarterback for Nebraska throws an interception on a drive which they had the game won, and that allowed Minnesota to go down and kick a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that play calling, I don't get that. Like you said, Matt Rule, you're not big on him. That quarterback has got a lot to. He's raw. A lot of people are comparing him to Richardson from Florida last year. Very athletic, big guy, strong guy, but his accuracy and all that throwing the football has got a long ways to go. And you could see it in that game. And
Hmm.
they should have been running the ball there. He shouldn't have been throwing it.
No, not at all. I don't know why. And that was a good play by the safety though, kind of just baited them into it.
Yeah,
But still, in the first place, why are you throwing the ball?
made no sense. And they're gonna learn. I mean, that's Matt Rule's first game back, and I think Nebraska will be better under him. He has been a very good college coach,
Hmm.
even though he didn't have much success in the NFL. But yeah, that play calling left a lot to be desired. But hey, great win for Minnesota. Maybe they'll be a competitive this year in the Big Ten.
We will definitely have to see. And yeah, that's pretty much it for college football, I'd say, for those games. And now we are moving on to the NFL. It kicks off Thursday.
Can't wait.
Lions and
Finally.
Chiefs. Lions and Chiefs are our first game of this season.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. We get to see is Detroit for real or not. A lot of people still doubting them. Even though they finished up strong last year. Very good last year, and everybody expects them to carry it over, and they're going to win their division. And this is their year to break out and finally be a good team. This all starts Thursday night. This is their chance to show America that they are for real. They're not the same old Detroit Lions. Going to be tough against the defending champs. Usually the defending champs in these Thursday night startup games usually find a way to win.
Hmm.
But Kansas City has some question marks too, so who knows?
Yeah, speaking of those question marks, their star defensive tackle, Chris Jones, he is holding out for this game and possibly the whole season.
Yeah, that's bad for Kansas City because he is their defense. Their defense is predicated around him. He gets all the pressure on the quarterback. Phenomenal player. He's dominant when he's out there. He's probably he's top 5 player on defense in the NFL for sure.
Hmm.
Him and Aaron Donald and probably the top 2 inside tackles. And I think Jones plays tackle. Sometimes he's on the nose.
Yeah.
But most of the time tackle. Him and Aaron Donald are the top 2 interior linemen on defense in the NFL by far. He's still pretty young, and he's holding out. If they don't get him signed, if he holds out for a while, that really changes it's all going to be on Mahomes.
It's all going to be on Mahomes, yes. And they lost their receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster. He is a New England Patriot now. And their wide receiver 1 role is still in question. They got that rookie, Rashee Rice. They got Kadarius Toney. They've got Sky Moore. And they also have a guy that I think a lot of people are high on, including myself, Justin Ross, who has not really gotten his chance due to injury, but he looked really solid out of Clemson as that undrafted free agent. And I'm going to be pretty excited to see what Mahomes and Justin Ross can do. But they do have Travis Kelce, of course. You can never forget about Kelce.
Yeah, they have Kelsey and they have Scantling there.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling,
he
yes.
played pretty good last year for them. He was probably their number 2 receiver behind Schuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of question marks there. They don't. We still don't know if Tony's even playing this week. He's been hurt. And you have Kelsey. What I think it does though is if those receivers are not quite up to par, that allows your defense to pay a lot of attention to Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
So that could limit him, at the beginning of the season until those receivers get going. But you got Mahomes. I mean, he'll find a way probably. Seems like he always does. But
yeah,
I could see Kansas City stumbling a little bit at the beginning of the season. I could see them being so like they were a few years ago. Remember?
Yeah.
They were like 4-3 or something like that, which you don't expect them to be.
No.
I could see them being like that this year, and then by the end of the season, they'll probably be right there again. But I could see them stumbling a little bit, and I would not be shocked at all if Detroit won this game.
I have Detroit winning this game. I mean, everyone's saying that Detroit's gonna lose this game. They're saying they're writing them off. They're saying some people are saying the Vikings are winning the division over them. That's not a crazy take, but the reasoning behind it, I don't like it. They're saying Detroit suspensions. You remember the gambling stuff, of course.
Yes.
The suspensions are gonna hold them back. I'm gonna say this: who besides Jamison Williams is really that important to this Lions team that got?
He's the
suspended.
only guy. It's just him.
Yeah.
The other guys you haven't even heard of.
They were able to succeed without him for a while due to him being out because of injury. And they have Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's very good. They have some solid receivers too. Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds. They can get stuff done.
They still have Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones, who just signed back there.
Yep. He's a very clutch receiver.
Yes, he can make all the catches. That you throw the ball to him, most of the time he'll catch it.
Yeah, he's not going to beat you with speed, but on the third down when you need 7 yards, he'll get it for you.
Yeah.
And then the rookie, Jahmyr Gibbs,
I like him.
He's gonna be big out of the backfield. I don't know how much of he's gonna be as a runner, but those catches out of the backfield,
oh yeah,
I could see him being excellent at that.
And if you don't see him good as a runner, they have David Montgomery to fill that hole that they signed out of Chicago.
Yeah, so this offense they're loaded.
They're gonna score like last year. They were able to score and stay close in games, and that defense, they got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles to help that secondary out. They also got Aiden Hutchinson.
They got Cam Sutton
from the Steelers. Yeah.
That defense should be better. Is it going to be great? Probably not, but it should be better than last year. And if it's just a little bit better than last year, that's all they need because they're going to score.
Yes.
So unless something crazy happens, unless Jared Goff just spits the bit. I mean, he was really good last year.
I'm high on Goff. I love Goff this year.
So if he's like he was last year, this team's going to win that division.
Oh, I have them win the division as well. And I don't think that the only team that's really going to keep it close is the Vikings. I think the Packers will be decent. They're still learning with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love will be fine, but I don't think they're going to be like that. Like you said, the division top 1 contender.
Yeah, Green Bay, I could see them winning 8 games, 8-9, something like that, 7-10. I don't know, possibly 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of people are really high on Chicago, and I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. People have Chicago going, 13-4?
They're like
11-6, 12-5. There, how?
I'm like, did you watch this team last year? How did they get better?
They upgraded positions, but Justin Fields still has stuff to prove. I think Justin Fields can be better, but do you think Justin Fields is really going to lead this team to top 1 in the division?
No, I don't. What did they win last year? 4 games, 5 games?
Yeah, Justin Fields was practically that whole offense. Sure, they got DJ Moore. What else?
Yeah. like I said, they might win 7 or 8 games, but that's all I see them doing. I don't see them competing for the division.
On that off.
Unless he's took this miraculous step
Yep.
where he's just, he can't run like he was running last year. He's going to get hurt. Because that's all he did last year was run.
Mm-hmm. He needs to throw the ball. We need to see him throw the ball.
Yeah, if he's not throwing the ball with consistency, then this team's not going to be much better than they were last year. Maybe a couple games better, but that's it. I don't get the hype with this team.
I don't see how Justin Fields is getting all of this defense. Like, I like Justin Fields a lot. I think he has a chance to be a good quarterback, but you can't give him all these excuses. His O-line wasn't the worst in the world. Sure, it wasn't the best, but he can't throw the ball. He takes way too long with the ball. You see him, sometimes he takes 10 seconds with the ball to make a decision. And then
it's crazy.
And then you got he didn't have any help with the receivers. Darnell Mooney is there. Chase Claypool is there. Cole Kmet is there. I mean, you got the best receivers in the world, but you got receivers that can go up there and make catches, especially Mooney.
Yeah, I just don't see it with him. I'm not. I know you're bigger on him than I am.
Probably because I'm an Ohio State fan, but yeah.
I am not big on him at all. I wasn't big on him when he came out. I just didn't see the consistency throwing the football. This is going to be what? Is this his third or fourth year? Third year? I guess this is his third year.
This is his third year.
I mean, he's gotten 3 years. I mean, if he can't do it this year, he's not going to do it.
No.
So this is make or break it for him as far as I'm concerned. But I don't see it. I just don't. I just don't think he's a consistent enough thrower. Like I said, maybe he's a little better and they win like 7 games or something like that. But as far as competing for the division, I don't see any way.
Oh no, like Packers are going to be better than the Bears, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Jordan Love's better than Justin Fields. I just do. He's a better thrower of the football. The little bit we've seen of him, he's a lot more accurate with the ball. I think he probably makes better decisions. So, yeah, I think it's Detroit and Minnesota.
Yeah,
probably competing, and then Green Bay will be close for a while, and I don't see them at the end being there for the division.
Yeah, close to a wild card, and the Bears are just gonna finish last like they always do.
Yeah, that's where I see it.
Yeah. That will be our NFL talk. I want to cover MLB real quick before we get into plays of the week. How about the New York Yankees going into Houston and sweeping the Houston Astros? And let's talk about Jason Dominguez, Dad.
Yeah, what a great way to start your career. Beating the Astros and getting home runs on his first at bat.
Off Justin Verlander, too.
Justin Verlander, yeah. Crazy. The Yankees aren't going anywhere. They're not making the playoffs. So they decided to bring up a bunch of young guys. He's one of their coveted young guys, and so they brought him up. And we're seeing that, he might be the real deal. Unbelievable start to his career. Just phenomenal.
How about the other catcher they brought up, Austin Wells, too? He did very solid hitting the ball in that series, and he picked off a runner. And Michael King said in an interview that Austin Wells helps him a lot with, framing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great to see. Another young guy. Catcher, that's a big position that they need to fill because they don't have a good catcher. I mean, Higashioka's a good defensive catcher, but he's not offensively. He's just a backup
Same
catcher.
with Trevino. He can't hit the ball.
And then the other guy, Revort, or I forget
Rorvet.
He cannot hit at all. He's not the answer.
No.
So I think giving Wells a chance to see what he's got, maybe he's the answer. Maybe next year he can be on the team and compete for that spot.
Absolutely. I think Austin Wells has a good shot of winning that spot, too. He looked good in the minors. He was able to hit the ball, and we saw in that Houston series, he's a great catcher. He's able to frame well from the pitchers, and he was able to pick off. He's 1 for 1 in pick off attempts.
Yeah, that's great to see. I think it's the direction the Yankees need to go in is with youth because the older guys, you can see it just didn't work out this year. So they need to change things up, and I think that's why they brought these guys up to see if they got it, if they can move forward with them next year. And from what I've seen so far, those two guys, yeah, I think they should be on the team next year.
They also brought up Everson Pereira. He cannot hit the ball.
Yeah, he's not hitting the ball. He looks like he's a really good fielder, but
Yeah.
And he's fast. But yeah, he's not. I don't think he's ready for major league pitching. Just doesn't seem like it. I mean, it's only been a week or so, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to stick with him for the rest of the season just to see.
Yep.
But he might not be ready. But those other two guys, they look ready to me.
Oh, yeah. Jason Dominguez hit another homer last night.
He did another moonshot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the reason why they've swept the Astros.
Pretty much. All those homers that came in out of nowhere pretty much against the Astros. And the Yankees play tomorrow against Detroit at home. So hopefully they can do good in that series and maybe get back on track. And if by some miracle, maybe make a run for the wild card.
You never know. I mean, they'd have to go on a hell of a streak to get there. But, hey, stranger things have happened.
For sure. Well, Minnesota here for plays of the week. Number 1, 4th down and 10. They really need a miracle here to tie the game against Nebraska. Throws it. Daniel Jackson makes the catch of the year possibly in week 1 and makes the catch to tie the game up. And Minnesota ended up winning this game.
Unbelievable. That play. How did he do that? That was crazy.
Have you seen that replay there? Kept the foot up.
Before his left foot.
And then before the left foot.
Or right foot.
Down.
Yeah. That's crazy. And that was like just a second before his right foot came down. Oh, unbelievable.
That is already a contender for catch of the year, and it's week 1.
Here's another one from the Utah-Florida game. Bryson Barnes, the new Utah quarterback, back, throws it 70 yards to Money Parks. What a way to open up the game and the season. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what a mistake by Florida. Bryson Barnes absolutely launches that one, takes a shot on the first play, and you see Cam Rising, the quarterback who wasn't able to play in this game, absolutely loving it. Money Parks on the 70-yard reception touchdown.
What a name, Money Parks. With a name like that, you got to catch 70-yard touchdowns.
Yep. What a play for the Utah Utes. With our third play of plays of the week, Alabama and Middle Tennessee, Jalen Milroe botch snap, picks it up, and he runs, uses his legs, and somehow turns it into the first touchdown of the game.
What a play. This guy is an unbelievable athlete. Crazy.
Had to fill in last year a couple games for Bryce Young, so he is no stranger to these games. And Milroe turns a botched snap into a 21-yard rushing touchdown. What a play.
Yeah, that should have been a 20-yard loss. Jason Dominguez is first at bat with the New York Yankees. The coveted center fielder that they just brought up. There it goes! Off of Justin Verlander. What a way to start your career. A home run for Jason Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez, the prospect that everyone has been talking about, that they want to bring up. Volpe started on opening day, but this was the guy that everyone was looking forward to. Electric play from Jason Dominguez on his first at-bat, and I think that's the pitcher you want your first home run off of, Justin Verlander, in your first at-bat.
Unbelievable. What a way to start things off.
Well, with our last play of plays of the week, Jordan Travis going for the home run ball for Florida State, and Keon Coleman mosses LSU and gets his second touchdown of the game right there. And he had a hat trick in this game. Florida State has found their new star receiver in the transfer portal.
Yeah, look at the way they're lined up. You got the two guys on the left side of the line. That leaves one-on-one coverage against Keon Coleman with the cornerback number 8. You can't guard him with one guy. No way. Result, touchdown.
Jordan Travis finds his new receiver, and in his first game, too, as a Florida State Seminole, gets the hat trick. What a game for Keon Coleman and the Florida State Seminoles.
Look at the way he positioned himself there. A lot of guys would have pushed off there. He just a gentle nudge, just to give himself some space, just enough to catch that ball. What a play by Coleman.
Well, Dad, unfortunately, that is it for today, but we have two specific predictions we need to make. One, our Super Bowl predictions. Two, who's winning the game tonight, Clemson or Duke?
All right, we'll go with the least important first. I got Clemson in a blowout over Duke. And my Super Bowl prediction for the year, I've got, this is going to be crazy, but I've got the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good cliffhanger, but just make it be the Chiefs. But the Cowboys are a real shocker. Wow. I also have a shock from the NFC too, but I'll go with the first one. Duke is beating Clemson tonight.
Wow.
Upset.
That's a bold pick right there.
Upset.
Okay.
And our Super Bowl prediction for me, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith will lead that team to the Super Bowl. You heard me first. Against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Who wins that game?
The Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. Awesome. I got Kansas City winning again. Not very bold pick there, but I just can't go against them. But, wow, Seattle in the Super Bowl. I like that pick.
Well, unfortunately, everyone, that is the way we're going to end our podcast. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Labor Day, a week, and a weekend. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you on the next podcast. Watch us on Spotify and YouTube. See ya.
Hey, if you like what you see, you can subscribe down below, and you can listen to our podcast at any time. And also, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at pmsporttalk@gmail.com. Also coming soon is a website. Thank you all for listening. Have a good one.